How's it going, everybody? Justin here with Spikes and Gills. So Josh and Jason got their 2023 Maine bull on the 2023 Maine moose hunt. It's a nice one. He weighed 864.5 pounds, so about 865 pounds. And he was a 49-inch spread. It was real great. I mean, just a spectacular Maine moose. I mean, he's a giant. He's huge. Almost nearly 900 pounds. And nearly a record book rack. A true trophy in anyone's eyes. And I'm going to be kind enough to mount this bull moose for my best friend, Jason Coombs. And now I want to touch on a little bit about proper care when actually shooting your moose out in the woods. You could be hundreds of yards off the beaten path. You've got to have the right gear, the right equipment and gear to get that bull out, especially if you're going to get him out whole. Now you can quarter the moose. When quartering your moose, that's the way you're going to pack out the moose instead of dragging them out to a trailer, is you cut one half of the hide, cut it right down the middle, the back of the moose, from the tail to the head, and then you pull that hide off and drape it over, hair side down, with skin side up, and use it like a table to lay all your meat on. As you're quartering the meat, as you're getting the front shoulder and rear shoulder, and getting all and deboning the meat off your ribs, quarter that meat on the one side. Then you put it into your cheesecloths or your gamekeeper bags, like from the Alaska gamekeeper bag company or whatever. You bag it all up, get it in your pack, strap it to the pack. Then you turn the bull over. You turn that, and that side you already quartered up is going to lay on the skin side of the part of the hide you already cut away from the bull. And then you're going to proceed to take the hide off that other side, lay it hair side down, skin side up, and that's your table to quarter the other side of the bull and get that in its cloths, in bags, tied up and strapped to the pack. Then you can pack it out and bring out, and obviously cut the head off where you need to take your trophy, take your antlers and skull out with you. So that's one way. Now Josh, Jason, Skip, they brought their four-wheeler and some chain and rope, and they got a big trailer. We were about 150 yards out off the beaten path when Josh and Jason dumped this bull. They dropped this bull almost right in its tracks, right where it stood. It didn't go. They shot it and might have it turned and went 10 or 15 yards and did a little whoop-de-doo thing and I got it on video dropping. I got all the shots and the bull going down on video. It's a great video. Can't wait for all of you to see it. But here, Josh cut out a bed liner out of a Ford pickup truck. It's cut to size and shape, and it's folded up here, the front of the liner, with a big, huge wood plank in it. There's a couple holes drilled through it with chain coming through the holes. The chain is attached up front. It's I think it's two pieces of chains kind of clamped together. And there's a bunch of rope. Skip was able to get a big spool of really strong, sturdy rope. And he's got his ramps here for his four-wheeler. He brought the four-wheeler up. They got a four-wheeler with a winch. We got rope, chain, sled. The bunch of us grabbed the antlers of the bull and lifted up the head and the neck while the other two guys pushed the sled up underneath the shoulders and neck and head of the bull. And then we lowered the head and neck and shoulders down on the sled. Then we secured and tied down the antlers to the front of the sled so he wouldn't fall off the sled when the four-wheeler was pulling him. And Josh was the driver, and he did a great job. Josh had to pull this bull on this little Ford bedliner makeshift sled here through a swampy wetland. It was almost knee-high water. The water was over the ankles in most places. Some guys did get water into their boots. It was real deep swampy water. There was a big wetland there that Josh had to muscle through with the four-wheeler. Skip sat on the back of the four-wheeler, put some extra weight on there. And Josh I saw them bouncing up and down, and he was really cranking on her hard to get it through that wetland. But the wheeler made it. We got the bull out to the road, and they wheeled the bull around to the back side of this trailer here. And then 4 or 5 of us buckled onto the bull's antlers, and we heave-hoed and pulled him up onto the trailer. And we got him up on there, strapped him down so we wouldn't lose him. And we just got back from tagging him and coming from the butcher. And now what I'm going to do is finish caping him 100% off the skull. So I have the full cape. I'm going to rough flesh him, cut all the meat, fat, and membrane off the skin side, and rub that pickle and salt into that cape. That pickle and salt's going to draw out any moisture and blood from the skin side, and the salt's going to absorb all that blood moisture. And he's going to be draped and hung up to drip dry and drain with this pickle and salt all on him. And then tomorrow he'll have all the old salt will be brushed off the skin side, and I'll put a whole nother round of salt on the skin side, again, to continue to draw out any blood and moisture, to preserve that skin of the cape so there's to inhibit any bacteria growth, and to preserve him for future mounting. That pickle and salt is a taxidermist's best friend. When finished caping a deer, moose, bear, or whatever you're going to mount, it's vitally important you rub that pickle and salt into the skin side to stop any bacteria growth. Any bacteria that's already set in and starting to replicate, that salt's going to stop it dead in its tracks, and it's going to inhibit or prevent, if you will, any future bacteria growth, so you don't spoil and ruin and rot your cape from your trophy. So now I better get to it. I got my work cut out for me. I'm going to finish caping them, get them all caped up and salted and hung up to drain, and we'll go from there. And then I'll mount them for Jason at a future date. But he's a dandy. Yeah. All right, everybody. Hey, shoot straight. God bless. Be safe. See you all next time. All right, I'm back, everybody. What I want to share with you now is that I've got the bull moose all caped off the skull. And when caping out a mammal, you always start with the nose, around the mouth and nose area. You fold down the lower jaw part of the cape and the upper jaw part of the cape, and you fold it back towards the eyes, and then you turn over the antlers and flip the head over to do your Y cut. The Y incision is about, on deer, like 6 to 8 inches down the back, from the middle of the neck pretty much up to the base of the skull. And then you form your Y by cutting towards the antler burrs. So you make 6 to 8 inches up, and then to the left and right towards the base of the antler burrs, the base of the antlers. That's what I did here on the bull. I did my Y cut up. It was tube skinned. The cape was tubed out, so that way there's minimal sewing. I don't have to do a whole heck of a lot of sewing when mount after finishing mounting this on the mannequin. So I got my Y incision. Now, when you do your Y cuts to the base of the burrs on the antlers, you use a flathead screwdriver to pry the skin away from underneath the antler burrs, so you're not tearing the skin and losing that very important hair around the antler burrs. You don't want to have a bald spot or a blank spot around the base of the antlers. It would turn out horrible. It would be a horrible mount. So you use a flathead screwdriver after you do the Y cut, and take your blade and cut the end of the Y cut right. You use your knife just to cut that one line, that one slice right to the base of the antler burr, and then use the flathead screwdriver the rest of the way to pry the skin out from around the base of the antler burrs. And after that, is all the skin is pulled and pried away from the antler burrs. Then you use your scalpel to finish the caping process, to get it off the skull. So then it will leave you the antlers and skull, and then you can use your Sawzall to cut the skull cap off the way you're supposed to detach the antlers for future mounting. And so here I have the bull all caped out. And now it's just a matter of rough fleshing it, cutting away all the meat, fat, and membrane that I can, and then rubbing in that pickling salt to dry up, to draw out the blood and moisture and dry it up and preserve that skin so it won't start rotting and spoiling. Yeah, so we got to stop that bacteria growth, and the pickling salt does that after rough fleshing. I've got to actually, in the rough fleshing process, I also have to turn the ears, eyes, and lips and nose. And what that means is turning the ears inside out. You use it with the help of your scalpel and your fingers and prying away the skin from the ears. You want to flip those ears inside out so it's just the ear skin and cartilage showing, and then cut away all that cartilage and meat that you don't need off the base of the ears and discard that. And when you turn your eyes, you just very carefully take your scalpel and skin and peel back the skin towards the eyelids, and that's turning the eyes, and that gives you the skin for tucking in the mannequin. And you can cut away most of that skin. You only need about a ½ inch around each eye. And then when turning the nose, you cut away all the cartilage and meat, skin, and membrane that you don't need, and you tube out the nostrils. When turning the nose and nostrils on these critters, you're gonna turn the nose inside out, and you're gonna have like a tube of skin on the underside of the skin side of the nose. And when turning the lips, you do the same thing you did with the eyes, and you just take your scalpel and skin away towards the base of the lips, around the lips of the critter. And you don't need very much skin for tucking into the mannequin around the lips either. You only need about a ½ inch of skin left around the lips line. So that's, so you got to turn your ears, eyes, nose, lips, get them turned, rough flesh, and rub in that pickling salt really good, and let the salt dry up, draw out all that blood and moisture. Hang and drape your cape up, let it hang and drip dry to drain all the fluids, liquids, and blood out of the skin. You want to dry it right up with that pickling salt, and then it'll be ready for pickling and for tanning and all that stuff, and ready for mounting. So there you have it. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. Hey, don't forget to smash that like button for me, could you? Don't forget to subscribe to the Spikes and Gills YouTube channel. Click the notification bell so you'll be notified of all future uploads. And yeah, I greatly appreciate the extra follow and support, guys. I see you next time.